Hello, my name is Adam Swatek, and this is my presentation for my student enrollment website. This is my capstone project for my degree at University of Arizona Global Campus for Computer Software Technology. So we begin this project with a software requirements specification for this user registration system. And this document goes through all of the required steps in planning to make this website. Starting off with the introduction, the purpose of the software requirements specification, the intended audience, and the product scope. Next, it covers the overall description, including the product functions, user classes and characteristics, along with some diagrams, which we will show a few of those in a few minutes. It also talks about the operating environment. Next section talks about the external interface features, including user interfaces, hardware interfaces, and software interfaces. Next, the SRS covers some key aspects such as use cases, and here's a use case diagram which shows the user going onto the website and they search for classes. The user will register for desired classes or continue to look for some more classes. Once the user gets done registering for classes, they will log out. And below I showed an example of the use cases as far as the objects, priority, and everything goes with that. Following this is non-functional requirements such as performance requirements, security requirements, and quality attributes. Another part in the document is more requirements that might be needed for this website or other websites. In addition to the use case diagram that I showed you, we have some more UML design models, and one of the two examples that I will show is the class relation diagram that I used to create my database. And this is just an earlier version of it. It shows the student table in the SQL database, and then these are some parts of the student. It will have the student ID, password, first name, last name, phone number, email, and then another table will be the schedule. Another table will be for courses, and I'll get into this a little bit later, but this shows the relation. One student might have multiple schedules, but then each schedule will only go for one student. Also, one schedule may have many courses, and each course most likely will pertain to many different students, or many different students' schedules. So that's the class relation diagram for our SQL database. Next UML model I'd like to discuss is the sequence diagrams, and this one's kind of cool. It shows a lot. It shows what the user does. Right here at the beginning, a new user will create a password. They'll create an account. So that's what this first section shows, the new user. And if the username is authorized, they'll be able to continue on. If the username has already been taken, they'll get a message saying this username has already been taken. Try a different username. Following this, we'll have an existing user. So that new user has an account, so they will be an existing user, and they will go to sign into this website or log in. And if they enter the correct username and password, they will be able to continue into the website. If not, they'll be asked to try to log in again. One of the security attributes for a website like this would be having the login, the student being able to try to log in 3 times, and if they fail, to log in with their password, they will have a 30-minute period where they won't be able to try again. This will avoid having instances like hackers trying to use a brute force attack to try multiple different passwords to try to log into one website. So once a user is logged in, you can see in the bottom portion of this UML model, they will be able to look for classes if the class is available, which the database will have a count. Most of these classes that I put in have a count for 25 students. So if there's enough space, they'll be able to log in, and then eventually, like if the class is full, they'd be able to put their name on a waiting list and be notified once this. If a spot opens up, the student will be able to enroll in the course. Next, we'll get into looking at what the website looks like. This is the landing page, or the index page. Right at the top, we'll have the home, which takes us right back to the index page. Next, about us. I had this link directly to the University of Arizona Global Campus homepage, since that's where I've been taking all these classes, and later on in this presentation, I'll show you like the courses where you would be able to sign up. Register is where the student registers. Login is where the student will log in. And down below, I have these exact same things. Next, this is the login page. Sorry, there we go. So first on the left side, I have the create a student login. So I kind of had some fun with the little pictograms right here. Creating a student login, you'll enter your desired username, and this database will only allow one user to have a particular username, which you'd be able to log in with later on. You could have a first name, last name, home address, phone number, email address, and password, and none of the rest of these are like they could be double. Like you could have multiple users with the same first name or last name or home address. Like if you had siblings with the same home address or phone number. Nowadays, everyone's got their own phone number, so that is not likely to repeat. As well as email address, and then password. I don't think there'd be any case where we'd say, oh, this password's already been taken by another user, try a different one. And then here on the right we have the student login, where the student will enter their student name. So in that case I used my student name, and here I put in the type of input as a password. So if someone's looking over your shoulder, they can't see anything unless you click on that little eye on the right to see your password. So that's another built-in security function. Next, we have the enrollment page, which I would have the student enter their username. At this point, they should already be logged in. Then I created this drop-down right here with all of the courses that I've taken. Of course, you could enter more courses into the database. I feel a little more comfortable over here. And then next we'll have the semester. So in this case I added the spring 2024 semester, which is pretty much over. Summer 2024 semester, and then the fall semester. So later on, if I added administration functions, like they'd be able to add more courses or add another semester. So that's my enrollment page for the most part. And then with this data, I created an SQL database, and it has 6 different tables. At the bottom, of course, these are alphabetical, so we would have the student database, or the student table in my database for this. And then the courses, which I just showed. And then the student would they'd enroll, and this would go into I guess offering. The offering would be like, so each class, each course, you'd have multiple instances of that class. maybe in one semester you might have like 4 or 5 different offerings depending on how busy the class was. Like the intermediate algebra class that I took, there'd probably be several intermediate algebra classes, but then more specialized classes like CST 310 or 313 or whatever, you might only have 1 or 2 instances of that class throughout a semester. So the student would go to their course offering in the database. When they signed up, the course offering would have what semester it was and possibly like a different teacher for each offering that semester. Anyways, if the course is full, there would be a queue, which I have. So that database would have like the student's name or their user ID, actually their primary key, their user number, as well as the course offering. And so essentially, like when there's a spot available for that student, the website will go, oh, hey, there's only 24 students enrolled in this. We'll get this guy into this this opening and send them an email. Next, here's a relationship diagram, like I talked about earlier with the SQL database. First up at the top left, we have the student ID, and this talks about like what type of input you have. So in this case, the student ID, which is auto-generated by the database, is the primary key. There's only going to be one student with each. It's a unique key. So one student will have like number 1, and then the next student will be student number 2, and so on and so forth. But no 2 students will have the exact username. And then this talks about. I updated this later on, so if you look at my database, the student name, first name, last name, and address, these are no longer integers. They're various characters or varchar, like you see below for the student email and password, but the same number of limitation on characters. So this shows how it relates to these other tables, like the student ID will relate to your course open notifications and your course enrollments. And then the queue, like the waiting list that I just explained, we'll talk about, it'll be linked to the student ID as well as the course offering ID. And each course enrollment, of course, would have the student and the course offering. Each course offering would be directly related to the queue, the course. It would be used for the queue and the course open relationship notifications. And then each course offering would have the course, of course. So that shows how everything's related to each other in the SQL database. And one thing I need to mention is the very top of each of these tables has a little key to the left. Like on the right, the table for courses, the course ID is the primary key. So next, this is an example of the table for the course database. This is the database this is the course table. So this is what I showed earlier with my drop down. This is all of the courses. Of course, you would be able to add more courses to the database or remove some. So this is currently what's populated in my course database. Next is PHP code. I only added a little bit of PHP code. This one is for the index page. Above it got cut off, but it talks about it has the links for different parts of this website, like the CSS file and Bootstrap and everything that creates a layout for this. And then this creates a little table like I had below. I had the 4 boxes of like the home page or about us or whatever. And further up, this is what I cut off. It also has the header, which showed those little boxes up near the top that also said home or log in or register. And then in addition, at the very bottom, there's a footer, which is another PHP file like header. And the footer will it's just real basic. It says copyright 2024.